One day in a quaint little town, a philosophy professor known for his unconventional teaching methods visited a local primary school. The students buzzed with curiosity as he entered the classroom, an intriguing sparkle in his eyes and a large, empty glass jar clutched under his arm. It was clear that this would be no ordinary lesson. With an air of playful mystery, he placed the jar on the table and produced a pile of large stones, each about the size of a fist. One by one, he carefully placed these stones into the jar until it was filled to the brim. He then asked the class, "Is this jar full?" The students, seeing no room for more stones, nodded in agreement. To their surprise, the professor pulled out a bag of pebbles and began pouring them into the jar. The smaller pebbles filled the gaps between the stones. Again, he asked, "Is this jar full now?" Some students hesitated, but many agreed that it was full. Then, the professor produced a bag of sand and poured it into the jar. The tiny grains of sand filled all the remaining spaces. For the third time, he asked, "Is this jar full now?" Most students were catching on by now and answered, "Probably not." Lastly, the professor poured a jug of water into the jar, soaking the sand. Only then did he agree that the jar was indeed full. The professor turned to the class and explained, "This jar represents your life. The stones are the important things, your family, health, and friends. If everything else was lost and only these remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, your job, your house, and your car. The sand represents the small stuff, the trivial things." He continued, "If you put the sand or pebbles in the jar first, there's no room for the stones. The same goes for life. If you focus on the small stuff, the daily to-dos, and the mundane tasks, you'll never have room for the things that truly matter. The stones are your foundation," he said, "your family, your health, and your dreams. Don't let the pebbles or the sand take precedence over them. At the end of your journey, it's the stones that will weigh the most in your jar of life, defining its value and meaning." A thoughtful student then raised her hand and asked, "But Professor, what about the water? Where does that fit into our lives?" The professor smiled and responded, The water. The water signifies that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room for a cup of coffee or tea with a friend. No matter how busy you are, there's always space for small moments of joy, relaxation, and connection." He concluded, "In our lives, we often juggle priorities, trying to fit everything into the limited hours of the day. If we fill our jar first with sand and pebbles, we leave no room for the stones. So focus on your stones first, your family, your health, your passions, and your dreams. These are the aspects of life that will leave you fulfilled when everything else is stripped away. While taking care of these precious stones, make room for learning, growth, and kindness, the water. The pebbles and sand will fit in around the important stuff, but they shouldn't crowd out the space meant for your stones. In the end, it's not about having a busy life, but leading a fulfilling one. Balance the stones, pebbles, sand, and water to enrich your life and bring you true joy."